The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. It's time to get the inside info on BYU with Cougar Insider Mitch Harper of KSLSports.com on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Join the world-famous Scott Gerard from noon to 3 at Tim Daly Nissan Southtown. Coming up today, 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. Tim Daly, home of the Forever Warranty. BYU's got a big one tonight, taking on Arizona. He covers the Cougs for KSLSports.com. He's our buddy Mitch Harper. What's going on, Mitch?
Hey, guys, happy to be on.
Mitch, what are you looking for? Well, there's 6 games left in the regular season for BYU. Obviously, the big question is what do they do without Richie Saunders, but is there something specific you're looking for, or what will, I guess, determine success as they now start to begin to prepare for the postseason?
How Kevin Young reinvents this team without Richie. You know, that's one of the strengths of Kevin Young with his background in the G League. He's used to having roster adjustments in season, and that's one of the strengths of what he does. So how he can really reinvent this team will be something of interest to me starting tonight. And I think that you look at Kennard Davis, transfer from Southern Illinois. He was a all-conference performer in the Missouri Valley last year, and he was looked upon coming into the season, as a impact 3-and-D type of player, and we just haven't seen it much. Now I think he can be potentially that third guy. And I think that, for Kennard Davis, he was struggling with, playing alongside 3 stars. Now maybe he can elevate himself into being that third reliable guy. And I'm curious to see what he can become with this team. He's going to be someone that needs to take on a big workload without Richie Saunders now with this team.
Everybody's focused on how to make up for Richie and his production and offense, and I get all that. I think BYU's issue has been this entire season is can they guard? And I think that's the way they make up for Richie is, you hold the teams under 90 points for crying out loud. Is this team capable of taking it to the next level on that side of the ball?
I think so. I think they can. I mean, they haven't shown signs of that. I think one of the big issues has been Bakeda hasn't been at full strength. He's been dealing with a hand injury, and that's, a key piece to BYU's defensive efforts. Coming into Big 12 play, they were a top 20 defense in a lot of adjusted efficiency metrics. Nationally, they've plummeted now to 50. They continue to give up big point totals, as you noted, and a lot of it's inside the arc where they're getting to the rim, these teams. So I think that BYU has the ability and the potential to do that. But replacing Saunders and his motor on both ends and his ability to rebound too will be tough. BYU is one of the top rebounding teams in the Big 12, and you lose about 6 rebounds a game with Saunders. So it'll be tough. I think this team's capable, but I think Kevin Young BYU teams are always going to be wired on the offensive end. And, they can outshoot teams and they can outscore. It'll be interesting tonight against Arizona, who, they don't shoot threes. They have only made, I think, 57 threes during Big 12 play. BYU, in the last meeting against Arizona, hit 13 threes, yet it still wasn't enough. If BYU can, hit the three at a high clip and kind of limit Burries and Jaden Bradley from getting downhill and getting to the rim with such ease, maybe BYU can hang around and have a shot to be in the mix here for this game against Arizona.
Texas Tech is beat up now. BYU is beat up now. Arizona's always dealing with some issues recently. It seems like they've lost back-to-back games. Does the Big 12 feel wide open? Does it feel like it's there for the taking, or do you still think there's a favorite?
It's still Houston's league, and, Houston's going to have Arizona on Saturday. I know they lost to Iowa State and Hilton Coliseum this past Monday, but it's Houston's league. I mean, they've only lost 6 games since they joined the conference back in 2023 in this league. They're the 2-time champ, and I don't know if they're better this year because some of the front court guys last year were so key, but they got higher end pros this year on Houston with Kingston Flemings leading the way. So I would say Houston's still the favorite with Arizona going into Houston this Saturday. I'd still go with them as the favorite. Tonight for Arizona, this is a big game because, they're trying to, position themselves to be in that, 1 seed line still when the early selection bracket gets revealed on Saturday morning, the top 16 seeds. Arizona's still wanting to stay on that 1 seed line, and with Houston coming up on Saturday for them, this is a really important game for an Arizona team that, as you know, is beaten up. But I'd still go with Houston as the favorite right now.
Do you think the Big 12 is the best conference in the country this year?
No question. They were 14-7 against the SEC in non-conference play this year. The top end of the Big 12 is the best league in the country. There's no doubt about it. You could have, 5 teams that are in the Final Four, or not Final Four, 5 teams that are threats to get to the Final Four, rather. The Big 12 is really good. I think that from, 8 to 16, it's a little bit weaker this year, but still there's talent across each of these teams. BYU, if they lose these 2 games this week against Arizona and Iowa State, they might be, playing on the first day of the Big 12 tournament, and BYU's got, a number 1 pick potentially. So the depth of this league is really good this year, and you're seeing the focus of, not the focus, but the investment into these programs, both from the transfer portal, but also maintaining high school recruiting at a high level too. I mean, the NBA draft next June is going to be littered with guys that are from the Big 12, with A.J. DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Kingston Flemings, Koa Pete, who's out tonight. But, I mean, this is a loaded league, and it's been really fun to see. And I think that also it always just delivers entertaining, close games. I think what's going to be the key for a lot of these teams is, can they stay healthy enough to get ready for March Madness to make a run? Because teams like Florida seem like they're trending up and they're getting better as the season progresses, whereas some of these top-end Big 12 teams, they're kind of hitting the dog days of the season. They're getting pretty banged up.
It's impossible to write his story because we have not, seen the last 6 games, the Big 12 tournament or the NCAA tournament. But through the first, 3 quarters of A.J. DeBonsa's career at BYU, what do you think kind of the reputation is? In my opinion, I think he's done exactly what's expected. I don't know if he's done more than expected. He's certainly not done less. So I don't know. How do you view him? How do you think BYU fans view him?
I think they view him as one of the best players to ever come through the program, no question. And I think that this team has battled a lot of injuries with Richie Saunders now and Dawson Baker back in November and Nate Pickens, 3 guys that were going to be, key rotation guys. I think that's limited maybe a little bit of the ceiling, but AJ shows up every night. I mean, really since the Utah game in the Huntsman Center where Alex Jensen really threw 2-3 guys at every possession at AJ, that's kind of been the blueprint for a lot of Big 12 teams, yet he's still getting his every single night. And the thing is that he's a very willing passer, and I think that he's kind of fit well with the locker room and the program. And, and I think that, as we know with BYU, its image and its perception matters a ton. And AJ has, I think, only added to feeling kind of like a BYU guy, if that's even possible for a guy that's so got such a bright future ahead in basketball. And his best years are still ahead of him in the game. But I think a really good job, and I think he's lived up every bit to the ounce of hype that he was receiving coming in. It's really going to be, maybe the legend status of what he does in March. And I still think this team can go on a run because, I don't think many teams in a matchup where they're not familiar with a BYU like these Big 12 teams are, they don't want to face an A.J. DeBonsa and a Rob Wright, in a one-game setting. And, he's shown some ability to be clutch late in games too. The Colorado game, he missed that opportunity to hit a game winner. That was an air ball, and he's probably going to want to get better from that. But I think AJ has done a really good job this season, and he's always been available. You know, the headaches that Kansas has gone through with Darren Peterson, that has not existed for AJ DeBonsa. He has always stepped onto the floor. You know, I go back to the TCU game in January where he lands hard on his right shoulder, and, you know, he clearly was visibly shaken up. He didn't leave, and the next game he had blue tape on his shoulder at Texas Tech. He still played. There was no question about it. And I think that is something, too, that I think a lot of people at BYU, their fans, can appreciate because, you know, obviously it was a lot of money to get him to BYU, but he's always showing up. And there's no questions whether he's going to be on the floor or not. He's always going to show up and he's going to deliver. And it's just a matter of can he carry this BYU team even more now without Richie Saunders?
Do you think the amount of money spent on the roster, Ben and I kind of had an interesting discussion yesterday about money and expectations and whether they're related or not, but do you think that there's internal pressure on this team, Kevin Young, et cetera, because of the price tag of the team?
I think there's always pressure, and that comes with these college coaches, and I think there's definitely you want to, you know, make the most of this opportunity. You can't assume that you're always going to get a number one prospect, even though, you know, BYU's in the mix once again for another guy, and Bruce Branch, who could be maybe a top 2, you know, NBA draft pick in 2027. You know, BYU is squarely in the mix there for him. So, I mean, this could be something that could be maybe a common thing for BYU, but you can never assume you're going to get this level of talent every single year. So you want to capitalize and get as far as possible. And, you know, to get to an Elite Eight would be huge for BYU. They haven't got there since 81, but I think it's lived up to. I mean, it's BYU wants to be, you know, a national player. They want to contend every single year, and the visibility, the ticket sales, the money that BYU has got. I mean, every game has been a sellout. I mean, every game at the Marriott Center, whether it's Abilene Christian or it's Arizona, it's been a sold out crowd. Now, some of it's been late arriving, felt a little more, you know, at times corporate in that lower bowl, but they're getting money. And in the secondary market, people are spending a lot of money to go to these games and see AJ DeBonsa. From a business standpoint, it's making a lot of sense. Now, you know, again, you want to get to the you know, a place where you've never been before as a program, but I think that it's definitely lived up to it. And Kevin Young, I mean, he's the perfect coach for BYU basketball, and he's super competitive. I think what's interesting about Kevin Young too, he's still learning the college game. I think he's going to learn some lessons from this year, whatever ends up being the outcome for this team, of how to construct rosters, how to do things differently. You know, I think that he's someone that's willing to adjust quickly. I mean, he's not set on one certain style of play, one certain way of doing things. He'll adjust. And we've seen that from last year to this year. I mean, this is a different team stylistically than last year's squad. So I think that, you know, BYU will always adapt to what the new climate is. And Kevin Young is going to want to have BYU in the conversation and be among the elites in the sport. Now they got to go perform and get it done. But I think it's been an investment well spent because BYU basketball has got more visibility than it's probably had ever. I mean, even in those Jimmer years that they celebrated last week, I was in the mountain. They were just they were this, you know, phenomenon. Yes, Jimmer was, but like BYU as a program was not viewed in high regard. Like BYU is viewed as one of the big spenders and a program that's getting high level prospects. And that's what you want. You want to be a factor to the NBA, and they did that with Yegor. They're going to have it with AJ, potentially with Richie Saunders and Rob Wright and guys that are coming through the pipeline as well.
What does the BYU receiving core look like next year on the football field?
It's a big question mark. Without Parker Kingston, you know, we'll see spring football practices start up on February 27th, but, you know, you're going to look for players like a Nakua to take a big step forward going into his third year with the program, redshirt sophomore. He's going to be someone to watch. You know, JoJo Phillips dealt with a shoulder injury. And, you know, players like that have to take big leaps forward. I think Cody Hagan can replicate the, not necessarily the yardage, but the style of play that BYU ran with Parker Kingston. You know, BYU's receiver unit, even when it was with Parker Kingston, you kind of had some questions about, is Parker Kingston really a number one receiver? Yes, he was the number one guy last year, but how much of that was a byproduct of what Chase Roberts opened up for him. Is Parker Kingston really a number one guy? I don't know if I necessarily thought that per se. I think that he was going to be a really impactful player and a key piece for this offense, and it's a big loss. But I didn't look at him as necessarily, a Puka Nacua, an Austin Collie when you think of NFL first number one wide receivers. But it's a lot of production. He knew the offense inside and out, but he's got options. The wild card in the mix is going to be 6'6" receiver Tyler Casper from Oregon. He hasn't played really at all at Oregon. 2 foot injuries, but if he can, they did their deep dive on the health report, the background check on him health-wise. They feel optimistic that he could be a player. He's a former, top 100 recruit, went to Oregon, was going to be in the mix at Oregon, but again, foot injuries derailed his playing time to where he really never touched the field. If he can stay healthy, he could be kind of the wild card in the group, but it's to be determined. Honestly, with that receiver unit, there's intriguing talent. There's some talented freshmen with the Pula brother from Lone Peak, Legend Glasgow from Lehigh, Terrence Sarion, a former Washington commit. There's options, but no one's proven, and that's going to be what they got to establish in spring ball.
Ben, what Winter Olympic sport do you think Mitch would be best at?
Biathlon.
Oh, the shooting and the cross
Skiing
country
and shooting.
scene?
Well, Mitch is multi-talented.
I was going to say either figure skating or bobsled.
I could see Mitch being a bobsled. Yeah, for sure.
Mitch, any thoughts?
Bobsled.
Okay.
That would be my
That's
my
your jam.
pick.
All right. As the brake man or
Again, no, Mitch is big. Mitch is going to get you off that line. Mitch is strong. Mitch is way taller than anyone recognizes. Right. So, you
Mitch,
want to jumpstart.
We appreciate you and all of your fine work. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks,
care.
Mitch.
See you, buddy. There you go. Mitch Harper covers the Cougs for KSLSports.com.
Canada won.
I know.
Canada beat Czechia in overtime, 4-3. Mitch Marner with the big goal in OT.
Hey, I told you off the air, Slovakia wasn't very good. Apparently, they're in the semi-finals.
So we'll see. Do they reorganize this after the? Do they reseed this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they reseed for the Final Four, because I don't think necessarily the U.S. has to play Canada if they beat Sweden tonight.
Did you see that the Canadians got caught cheating in curling?
I did. Yeah, touching the rock. Did they get caught, or the Swedes just had some language?
Complained about it.
Yeah. Well, that's the best way to do it. Just complain about it. Nothing changes.
I bet the hockey team's cheating
so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Ask Sam Presti.
Wasn't one of their Canadian? Wasn't that snowboarder who turned into a drug kingpin? Wasn't that guy Canadian?
He was.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Criminals.
Exactly. Cheering against them in every event.
Australia of North America, Canada. I've always said that.
Is Lindsey Vonn running drugs? I don't think so.
Her dog died the same day she was getting surgery on her leg.
Down or Ben.
They do it to me every time.
Thanks for that.
They do it to me every time. Yeah, her big dog died as she was getting surgery on her leg.
But not one of the
Talk
world's...
about a kick in the shorts.
Not one of the world's biggest drug dealers.
Lindsey Vonn?
Yeah.
That we know of?
I'm going to say so. Shaun White, don't think he's running drugs.
Saw Sean a couple of years ago, right on the corner across the street from the Salt Palace, the convention center. He was just hanging out over there with a crew of people. Little guy, that flying tomato, that's a cherry tomato. That's not a Roma.
All right, what you got Wednesday?
A hot house.
Coming up next.
Little tiny guy.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What's that? Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What you got Wednesday? What's the deal? Jake's got rules, Ben's out to steal. Bozo takes their spinning around. Flush it down, flush it down.
Jake and Ben. Want to remind you about our friends at University of Utah Health. For you, for life, University of Utah Health. Also, want to remind you to join Scotty G from noon to 3 at Tim Daly Nissan Southtown. Coming up today, 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. Tim Daly, home of the Forever Warranty. Time for What You Got Wednesday, where Ben and I go head-to-head in 2 5-selection drafts, one sports-related, one not. And then we put it out for a vote. Did you and Christian do it last week?
We did.
Last week, I did fill in best celebrity sports couples. That was a fun one. I won 60-40.
You did win. Jeez.
And then best rom-coms, Ben won that one 65-35.
Well, you led with 50 first dates, right? Was that your first
I think so.
pick? That was a terrible pick.
That is a bad pick.
That was a bad pick. Anyways.
Adam Sandler has never made a good movie.
I picked an Adam Sandler movie, so did you, but yeah. Bad first pick.
Even the ones you think warmly of from your youth were terrible.
Like Happy Gilmore is legitimately funny, and I picked, as rom-coms go, Punch Drunk Love, but sure.
Yeah, no, out on Punch Drunk Love. All right. Well, anyway, so that has no impact on today's draft. So who's drafting first?
Oh, we can still split it up. Yeah, what happened last week?
I won and then you won.
Okay, so that's what Jake gets. Because you got the first pick in both of the last 2 because I had won the 2 previous. That's fine.
Sorry, Jake.
It's not about Jake. It's about me.
So I'm confused.
So
I
Jake,
wasn't here last week.
Yeah.
Ben will pick first in the sports draft.
Great.
And Jake will pick first in the non-sports draft.
All right. Today's sports-related topic is?
Best Winter Olympic events.
Okay, Winter Olympic events. And Ben has the first pick. Is there an automatic first pick? Is there a no-brainer? I would say no.
I'm going to go hockey. It's actually not number 1 on my board, but I'm going to go hockey. I think it's going to give me the most votes, and it's number 2 on my board. So,
now, let me ask you this. Do we have to differentiate between men and women? Because I'm going to take the downhill, and I don't really care if it's men's or women's, but do you have to?
No, I was not planning on it.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming I'm getting both men's and women's hockey.
Yeah, sure. All right, the downhill.
Downhill.
By far, my favorite Winter Olympic event is the downhill.
Yeah, I have watched very little of it. I missed all of it.
Watching them scream down that hill is
crazy.
just crazy. And
Yeah.
I did not get to see it this year either because I was on a boat.
I didn't watch it. Okay, I will go with what I think is actually the best, because it's the same reason it's the best in the summer Olympic Games. It's the same thing, but I'm going to go with short track speed skating. I love the short track. I think it's really cool. It's super exciting. It's created some of the best races historically. So give me short track speed skating.
I'm going to take curling before it comes off the board because I do love curling. There are others that I like better, but I think I'm going to go with curling.
Okay. It's a good pick. It's gone. I'm going to erase it. I will go with one that we were just talking about, bizarrely watchable, the biathlon. There is something exciting about watching them. They have to shoot. They have to hit the target 5 times. You see guys getting rattled. When they get rattled, or women, they start to get rattled and they can't hit the shot. And then you see everyone flying out of the gate after they stand back up and throw the gun on their shoulders. Weirdly watchable. The same way curling is. Very much just like a vibes sport, and I've got no problem with that.
I like the strategy of curling, actually. I think it makes it somewhat interesting. I'm going to go big air skiing.
Okay, I like big air skiing way more than big air snowboarding.
I totally agree. Big air skiing.
I think that's totally fair. I don't know why I think the big air looks better. I do not love the just like, let me spin as many times as humanly possible on a snowboard. Like, that's not, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's crazy. But like, oh, cool, you did an 1800 or a 2160 or whatever. It's just like, I can't even sense that. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't apply to me at all. So it's almost not worth watching to me. Good pick. I like the differentiation there. I will flip this, I guess, and I will go with snowboard halfpipe because I think skiing halfpipe looks so silly to me because they're always like one foot is always higher than the other because you have to take such a sharp turn. So aesthetically, I don't like watching it, but I do like snowboarding halfpipe. I think that's the best snowboarding event.
Let me see. I think I can get that one later. I'm going to go with the 4-man bobsled.
Cool runnings.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's the
pinnacle.
I think that's the pinnacle of bobsled event
of that racetrack.
Right, because there's the single, the double, and then the 4-man. Right, so I'm going with the 4.
Is this my 5th pick? Christian, this is my last pick. All right, I'm going to go with one that doesn't get a lot of burn, but it is really fun, and I'm going to go with moguls. Moguls is cool. That's a crazy sport.
That's the one I thought I would get last, but it's actually called freestyle skiing.
Freestyle skiing, but yeah, because you mix in the big jump. I hate big air in skiing. And not the big air though you were talking about. I mean like the freestyle aerial skiing, and that's all it is. I hate how stiff they are. I hate the one hand up in the air, the full, double, full, or whatever the trick is that they all do. Nothing for me. But you're doing moguls, and then you go right into a huge jump. That's thrilling.
I wasn't sure if I would take this, but I am going to because it is actually the most popular sport at the Winter Olympics, and I'll say figure skating.
I hate the figure skating. It doesn't do anything for me. Even when we have a star that's American, doesn't do anything for me.
Oh, I watched the short program last night.
So did I.
I think it's absolutely entertaining.
I watched it, and I couldn't care for it at all. Even though I really like Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski. That's the best part. And if your announcer is the best part, you've got a bad sport. That's my take.
All right.
Overrated sports? What are the bad sports? Some sports that are secretly unwatchable. There's a couple out. I think the figure skating is. I know that's a very unpopular opinion. I don't know. There are some that don't really register for
What
me.
did we miss?
Ski jumping. Shout out to the crotch
You know what?
gate.
The long jump is not as good as you want it to be. They just go in a straight line and then they land, and it's like he looks like he was just as far as everybody else. That is a bad one. And if you can rig it by groin size, I have a real issue with it.
Which was a controversy. I think one of the
That shouldn't factor in my opinion.
I think one of the gnarliest sports, and it's not all that popular, so I didn't take it, but skeleton is wild. Whether you're doing the luge, but you're going head first and your chin is about an inch off the ice.
Skeleton was next on my board, as was big air skiing, but you picked that. Agreed. You know what? I don't like, what's the one where you lay on your back?
Luge.
I don't like them looking over their bellies. I don't like the angle. I don't like the look of it. It kind of makes me feel claustrophobic, but skeleton just feels cool. You're just going head first down that thing at 1,000 miles an hour.
All right. What is our not sports topic today?
Jake, you were on a Disney cruise last week, so we're going to go with best Disney characters.
All right.
There's
And
a
you get the
chance we've
first
done
pick.
this 2 or 3 times before. I don't remember. So
I don't
I'm
think
excited
we've
to go
done
with this.
Disney characters.
Definitely
We've
movies.
done Disney movies for sure.
Yeah.
Disney characters. I have the number one pick. Is there an automatic number one pick in
Yes,
your
there
opinion?
is.
There is.
There is.
Oh. I'm going to go with the genie from Aladdin.
Okay. Not who I had, but a great character.
Robin Williams is just so incredible.
He was meant for that role. Will Smith was not meant for that role. You're not taking the Will Smith one.
No.
You're
I'm taking the
Williams.
Robin Williams. No, by the way, as just all of my selections are not going to be the live action crappy remakes. I promise you, I will not be selecting
Okay.
a live action crappy remake.
That's fair.
That will not happen.
Not Idris Elba in Jungle Book.
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with the man who launched Disney, and I'm going to go with Mickey Mouse. I do think Mickey is classic, and he is kind of beloved because he has the ability to do whatever he wants. He's a little bit of a troublemaker. Oh, boy. But
I think the mouse is so overrated. And
Okay.
just because the mouse came first, everybody have you actually watched I'm sure you have, the old Disney cartoon shorts, you know, like Chippendale, those cartoons. Mickey's are all so bad. They're
I like Mickey's
so
Christmas tree.
bad.
I like Mickey Christmas tree.
All right. Yeah, you can have Mickey. That's fine. Old school character, I'm going to go with Goofy.
You want to know something I learned the other day? So speaking of winter sports, snowboarders, surfers, skateboarders, there's regular and there's goofy. That's which foot you put forward. It is actually named after Goofy, the cartoon character, because in an old surfing cartoon, they drew Goofy riding right foot forward instead of left foot forward. Wow. And the surfers just said, so you ride like Goofy, and that became you ride Goofy.
Oh, how about that?
That's very strange to me, but yeah, Goofy's hilarious.
Hilarious.
And the wide world of sports, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Goofy rules. Good pick. I'm going to go more modern, and I will take Woody, who I think actually is kind of a modern reincarnation of Mickey Mouse. It's a little silly. He's a little more lacking in self-confidence than Mickey Mouse is, but he's kind of like even-keeled, beloved. So I like Woody.
All right. Let me think. Do I want to go new, old? You know what? I'll go traditional. Donald.
I was hoping I'd get him a little later.
Donald's hilarious. Always mad.
I do love that they were like, we need to have the George Costanza character. And they made him way before anybody. And he also scoops up like Scrooge McDuck, which is a great character.
Yeah, Donald, kind of the lovable loser.
Yeah, he's an idiot. He's,
I love Donald. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Goofy and Donald. A lot of birds, but pretty good. Well, Goofy's a dog. Was I thinking? All right, I'm going to go with my favorite female character. I'm going to go with Belle. I do like that she wants more than what the world has given her, which is kind of the theme of all of them. Like Little Mermaid's the same thing, Jasmine's the same thing, but Belle I think does it best.
All right,
Bookworm.
I'm going to go with a villain because we haven't picked villains.
I think you're going to take my pick.
I'm going to take Ursula.
Oh, okay. I like Ursula.
Oh, Ursula is amazing.
Yeah. Real deal maker. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had those little eel things.
She's not an actual shark, but she's like a
No.
shark as far as the deals she makes. Takes advantage of vulnerable people. I will go with my favorite villain, and he is the funniest. And he is half genie, half Ursula, and it's Hades. It's so good.
James Woods.
James Woods is so funny in that role.
He is good in that role.
That's an amazing, amazing role that allows Hercules to work.
I feel like I have to take a princess. Moana.
Okay. I have one more pick. I'm going to go against my gut. Actually, I'm going to go with something that's more my gut than my favorite pick. And I'm going to go with a guy who I'm always happy to see show up, and that's Jiminy Cricket. I always like when Jiminy Cricket's there. He's kind of like the unspoken mascot of Disney, outside of Mickey being the face of Disney. Jiminy's like, he's like the MC of everything for some reason, and I don't know why. Every voiceover is Jiminy, and I'm always happy when he's there.
Well, he's the conscience.
He is the conscience,
And,
yeah, exactly.
you know,
right.
now that the mouse has no conscience, have you noticed that that Jiminy's strangely not around anymore?
He's gone.
And honestly, I'm not a big Pinocchio fan.
No.
So I did not.
No, you're
consider-
right, and I don't really even think of him from that. That even though that's his origin, right? Yeah, it's not really how I view him, but I get it. Yeah. Ghost of Christmas Past.
Tinkerbell was up there for me. I
Tinkerbell's
didn't
up there,
think
yeah.
Tinker would. I didn't think Tink would get me any votes.
The
though.
female counterpart to Jiminy Cricket, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably old Tink. I think there are a lot of villains that we could have gone with.
I like Willie the Giant as far as niche characters.
Okay.
Just like big dumb guy.
I like Pete. If you want to go
Pete,
with
good big,
Pete's
good big bad guy.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Christian.
I like Mufasa.
Okay.
Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, could've
Jack
done male.
Sparrow
Jack
could have
Sparrow's
been a good one. Yeah. All right. Review.
Let's see. Jake, you had the number one pick. You went the genie from Aladdin, Goofy, Donald Duck, Ursula, and Moana. Ben went Mickey Mouse, Woody from Toy Story, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, Hades, and Jiminy Cricket.
Good characters.
I don't know if Jiminy's getting you any votes.
You don't think so?
No.
You know what? The Disney World people will like it because he's the voice of the fireworks show at Epcot Center at night, and he's like kind of part of the magic there. So it might get me some votes.
All right.
I think most people here go to Disneyland because it's much closer.
But it's no longer a stop on the Big 12 tour. So people are going to Orlando now.
I see. This see UCF play?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A shockingly terrible airport. For a
MCO? Orlando?
Orlando, yeah. Having just flown in and out of there, considering that that whole town is built on tourism, shockingly bad airport.
Agreed. You
All right.
have to get on a train. You have to get on like the Airbus to get anywhere. You have to take a train. I'm with you.
And then I think we waited for an hour and a half for our luggage on a wonky conveyor belt thing that made no sense. Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you.
Surprisingly bad airport.
Yep.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll wrap up the show. We've got some funny sound. Funny kind of sound to play next. Stay tuned. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airwaves, talking sports. They got him make jokes and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his scarves. Oh my. From the islands to the basketball courts.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, we're teaming up with Beehive Meals, honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at kslsports.com/contest. Listen every Thursday to JJ and Alex for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Want to remind you to join Scotty G and friends coming up on Friday at Kenny J's Barbecue from noon to 3. For the 60 in 60 ranking show. Kenny J's Barbecue, located 11610 District Drive, right there in South Jordan at the District. Super easy to find. Very tasty.
Yeah, very good.
Great place to do. I can't believe it's almost 60 in 60 time. All right, we have some sound to play, Ben. And I actually have not heard this yet.
Oh, okay.
I've only heard of it.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty excited to hear what we've got going.
It's a new line. It's a new level of pathetic. So, yeah.
For one of our favorites.
Our favorite punching bags on the show.
Mick Cronin.
Yep.
Who is an unhappy person.
Yeah.
Would,
He's not unhappy today. He's an unhappy person.
In general. Yeah, right. In fact, did they lose?
UCLA went to Michigan State and got smoked.
82-59.
Got smoked.
Got just creamed.
Yeah.
And so this is Mick Cronin interacting with a student reporter after the game.
I can't tell how old this reporter is.
I've heard it from multiple sources. It's
okay.
A student reporter.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
What was your thought in the student section chanting Booker's name?
I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
I just meant overall the way that you
I would like to give you kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
Did you like
You should take it.
the preparation of
Do you really think I care about the other team's
No, I don't
student
think you care about the other
Are you
team.
raising your voice at me?
No, I'm just
Yeah, you are.
talking.
Yeah, you are. Come on, dude.
No reason.
Come on. Yes, you are. Everybody's standing here listening to you. Everybody. This is on camera. They can hear you. I answered the question. I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section. I coach UCLA. I don't care about Michigan State students. I mean, who cares?
Thoughts?
Man, is he an unpleasant person?
No, he's so unpleasant. And he's such a bozo. I mean, that's somebody UCLA can't get rid of quick enough, in all honesty. And then to blame the student for raising his voice, or whoever the reporter was for raising his voice, when Mick was the one who kept the conversation going. Mick is the one who went back to it.
No, the guy said, I'll take it.
Yeah, the guy said,
I'll take it.
The guy said, and the guy didn't even say that initially. First he said, what did you think? And he said, I don't care about the student section. End of story. Then the guy says, kudos for the worst question. Then Mick Cronin says, kudos for the worst questions anyone asked me. Then, so Mick is then the one who has re-brought this up, who has turned this into an actual back and forth. And has kind of not violated, but he's opened up this conversation that didn't need to be open if he didn't want to talk about it.
And I assure you that is not the worst question he's ever been asked. As somebody who's asked a zillion bad questions, you know what? It's your job to just answer. Answer. You know, when someone asked you a bad question, move on with your life.
And again, the reason this kid is asking the question is because this player at UCLA used to play at Michigan State and has transferred to UCLA. So, it's very pertinent. This is a player who has now played for both of your teams and has become a bit of the face of this, not even rivalry, but this matchup. So he gets asked about it. And then he follows it up by insulting the kid. And then basically puts the kid on defense. And then when the kid responds, Mick Cronin says, don't raise your voice. It's just, he sets a trap. It's such loser behavior from Mick Cronin. But Mick Cronin's a loser.
And so what if he did raise his voice, which he didn't, which is kind of funny.
Right.
But so what if he did?
Yeah.
Oh, how dare he?
Yeah.
The great Mick Cronin.
Yeah,
How
Who'll
dare
ever
he?
forget his 2 great years at Cincinnati?
And he did kind of give a smarmy, I'll take it. Okay, how dare he?
Yeah.
How dare he talk
he
back?
responded to your smarminess with his own.
Right.
You've earned it.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Mick.
But it once again reminded me of the Jim Boylan exchange with my friend Gordon Monson, which this was also a student reporter. Hit it.
Coach, you started that second half missing your first 12 shots. Explain how you were feeling during that run.
Like, that's how I was feeling. How am I supposed to answer that? How would you be feeling?
What was the reason for the offensive inefficiency, Jim?
Ball didn't go in the hoop.
Why not?
Ball didn't go in the hoop.
Were you happy with the schemes?
Next question.
Coach, you hold.
Don't come here once every 2 years and ask those questions. I don't want to hear that from you.
I can ask the question.
Good. Ask. I'm not answering it. Don't come here once every 2 years.
Coach,
I don't want to hear that from you.
Break.
Yeah. I see you to show up.
Show some class.
That's great.
But that was Gordon defending his student reporter.
Yes, he was.
And you know what? How would you feel is not a great question. But you know what, Jim? You could have said, you know what? It's tough to struggle sometimes. Yep. Next question. I mean, it's like... and then go back and forth with Gordon, of all people, is so funny.
You're going to win that one.
I was sitting right next to him,
Oh,
too.
you were there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were there.
No, I was sitting right next to Gordon.
Oh, that makes the story so much better.
Did you go more frequently?
What?
Or did you only go once every 2 years?
Oh, I have no idea. Probably once every 2 years. I don't know. It was a BYU-Utah game.
Okay.
And Utah had obviously just lost.
Oh, I didn't know you were at that game.
I was.
Oh,
I was sitting
wonderful.
right next to Gordon.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Nice
it was so funny. It was one of the most funny things I've ever been a part of
knowing
in person.
You, so one of the things that you're really funny at, that people won't realize this, is you will sit through a tense situation, and as soon as you leave that room or the door closes, you burst out laughing. You recognize it's funny in the moment, even if you don't escalate it the way Gordon and Boylan were escalating it with one another. And by the way, not Gordon's fault at all in that situation. But you recognize how funny it is immediately.
So funny.
So when the door closes, you laugh. So I know exactly how you responded the second either Jim left the room or you left the room with Gordon. I didn't know that was part of the story. That makes it that much better.
In fact, it was Brad Rock who broke the ice after it was all over, and I wish I knew what he would say, what he said, because the room was just silent.
Silent, I bet.
Boylan left the room, and the room was just silent. And then Brad Rock made a joke, and
well, Brad is truly the greatest person who's ever lived.
Oh yeah, didn't see Brad getting yelled at by Jim Boylan.
No.
So funny. But he was going at that student reporter. Jim was.
Yeah.
Like if Gordon
the same
didn't.
way Mick was.
Yeah, it's terrible. Hey, listen, I'm sure, Ben. After your not finest moment in life or whatever, and losing a basketball game, there are worse things. But I'm sure he wasn't pleased about it. You don't have to stand up in front of reporters and answer questions. I'm sure we would not like that either, like that. But
like that.
That's your job. And you still have to treat people with dignity and respect.
No,
even if you are a shiny-headed bald man like Mick Cronin.
I would hope you use that power imbalance to try and even the playing field a little bit more and not to exploit it. And that's what losers do, is they exploit that power imbalance. And Mick Cronin does that because he's a loser. I wish I could say it nicer. He doesn't say it nicer.
No, he doesn't.
Everybody, this is on camera. They can hear you.
Yeah, we did.
We did hear it.
It didn't
Mick,
sound like he was really raising his voice.
What
Mick.
you're saying didn't happen, and nobody felt that way.
Toughest guy on this team is going to do radio.
He kicked his own player out for a hard foul yesterday night in a game, as if like that was going to be more respectful. And he just made a bad call. Kid didn't foul him that hard. Kicked his player out, and then he fouled a player against Michigan State. The Michigan player stands up and kind of gets in the kid's face. Michigan State player gets in his face. And the UCLA player's like, what? What are you going to do about it? Because they're all fake tough guys on the basketball court anyways. And Mick kicks his own player out of the game. Not like respectfully, not out of like, I have a real dignity for the game, out of Mick being, watch me flex. That's what Mick loves.
It does kind of remind me of the way that Lloyd treats the staff.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
Loser behavior.
I'm kidding, Lloyd. Joking.
I like Lloyd.
I just got a dirty look from Salzar in there.
Yeah.
Just a joke.
Lloyd's been nothing but extremely good to me.
Stay tuned. Scotty G coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.